Alright, I have returned for the next chapter of The Room. Alright, let's see what this one has in store for us. I think I know what comes up. Hopefully, what happened in the last video won't happen in this one. I doubt it will, but anyway, let's start. Chapter 3. As Mark rode the familiar streetcar to the apartment complex that was his best friend Johnny's and Denny's home alike, his mind was focused entirely on one thing: Lisa, the building's most beautiful and most sexy tenant. If she approached him again, as she had the other week, would he be able to resist? She was Johnny's future wife, and Johnny was his best friend, and yet she was so beautiful. Why are you even doing this? He thought on his way up to the door. What good can it lead to? It was too late for second-guessing. He had already rang the doorbell. Lisa opened the door almost instantly. There she was. Beautiful blonde hair bouncing off her tiny shoulders, her smile welcoming and yet erotic. She was wearing a very sexy black blouse and dress. He smiled back, his beard very handsome. "Hi, how are you doing?" he said. "Fine, come in." She grabbed onto his shoulder and gestured for the couch. He let her hand linger there far longer than it should under the company of friends. It felt warm, good, right. But this isn't right, Mark thought. Have a seat. She pushed him down into a sofa chair, rubbing his shoulders gently, brushed her fingertips against his arms and up his back, gently massaging him as she went. She made her way up to his face, bringing her hand over his beard. It rustled with her touch. Mark could already feel his other best friend throbbing with anticipation. Lisa moved off, pouring 2 drinks, bending over just as she did it. She turned around and handed Mark a glass. Her fingers touched his, and they scraped together audibly. Mark's cock was pulsating with want now, and he hated himself for it. "Thank you," he said. Lisa looked down at her blouse, began to unfasten it. "It's hot in here," she sexied. "Do you mind?" No, he certainly did not. She threw away her covering and let it fall limply onto the floor. Only a skimpy black dress remained. Mark swallowed. Hard. Of course, it was not the only thing that was hard. She fingered his arm gently. I wouldn't mind fingering her gently, Mark thought to himself. He looked up at her, embarrassed. I mean, the candles, the music, the sexy dress. I mean, what's going on here? He smiled. There weren't literally candles or music, and the dress itself wasn't all that sexy, but he was speaking rhetorically. He knew what was going on. It sometimes paid to play dumb. Lisa smiled, then sat on his lap, creeping her way closer and closer to his crotch. "I like you very much. Lover boy," she purred, stroking Mark's handsome and manly beard. "What are you doing this for?" Mark asked playfully. "What's the matter? Don't you like me? I'm your girl." Mark looked away in shame. After a moment, he took her hand and moved it away from his face. It didn't matter how much he wanted it. It was wrong. Johnny was, and always would be, his best friend. "Johnny's my best friend. All right, you're going to be married next month. Come on." Lisa put down her wine, and grabbed Mark's face and beard, moving in closer than before. "Forget about Johnny. This is between you and me." She stroked his beard over and over, harder and more sensual with every consecutive pat. She let her fingers stray slightly over his mouth. Johnny grabbed her hand again, pushed her away. "I don't think so," Mark said, making his way up from the couch. I'm leaving now." She grabbed him by his face and started stroking again. "Please don't leave. Please don't leave," she pleaded. "I need you. I love you. I don't want to get married anymore. I don't love Johnny. I dream about you. I need you to make love to me." She She reached in to kiss him. Mark backed away, took her hands, and held them together. I don't think so. He was going to go up to his apartment, jerk his mini Mark, and forget this ever happened. Everything is going to be fine, I promise. Lisa stood, taking his hands and pulling him up. She took them both and wrapped them around her face. Despite his refutes, Mark didn't resist. She moved in, and their lips met. They kissed. Passion rippled through their groins. Lisa moved off, took Mark by the hand, and led him towards the stairs. Moments later, they were kissing on the stairs, Lisa propped up on the steps and Mark advancing hard. He felt his hand move up her leg and thigh. She began to unbutton his shirt. They kissed. She kissed his beard. Oh, Mark moaned. She gently pushed off his shirt, sleeve by sleeve. She ran her hand up and down his muscular chest. Then he kissed on the stairs with his shirt off. Oh, Lisa, Mark groaned. She felt down his back, putting her hand down the back of his jeans. She kissed his neck, and he kissed hers. Then they started to dry hump on the stairs. Hard. He came within seconds. When they had finished, Lisa adjusted her dress and looked over at Mark. They held hands silently. He sighed. God, why did you do this to me? He said, shaking his head. Lisa looked down at him sadly. He couldn't believe this had happened. Why? Johnny's my best friend. Didn't you enjoy it? Lisa asked in disbelief. That's not the point. I love you, Mark. Mark looked away from her. Sometimes she could be dense as shit. Look, you're very attractive. All right, you're beautiful. But we can't do this anymore. I can't hurt Johnny. Lisa nodded. I know, he's your best friend. Johnny was Mark's best friend. Hey, Mark said, squeezing her hand. This'll be our secret. She reached in and kissed with a passion she hadn't felt for Johnny in years. Of course, it wouldn't be their secret for long. That's the end of that chapter. God damn, I'm so happy that I didn't go into a rant. But I gotta tell you, what I really like about this so far is the fact that they're keeping the repetitiveness of the movie. It's just wonderful. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. See you next time for the next chapter.